Hi folks, welcome to the channel and thanks for joining me. So today I thought we'd try and tackle this 8-track car player. Now this came in a few weeks ago and quite frankly I bought it just because I like the look of it, if I'm honest, and it was a matching set with the Lucas Audio player and speakers. I've done nothing with it since it arrived, so I thought today might be a chance to actually sort of see if we can get it working and see what we've got. So let's just get some stuff out of the box first. So first we've got the hanging bracket that was used to mount the unit, of course, to the underside of the dashboard. So we'll just put that aside for a moment. Now then, what else have we got in the box? So it's all kind of one big lump. It's all still wired together, I think. So I'll just get it all out of the box and then we'll take a proper look in a couple of minutes. I'm just going to get this out gently without scratching anything. Let's see. I think it's still wrapped up in this bubble wrap. So we'll just get rid of that. Right, okay. So what do we have then? Well, we've got the head unit, which is in absolutely gorgeous condition. I mean, I haven't even cleaned this up yet. This is how it arrived. So the chrome work looks fantastic. You can see the mounting screws there for the side and various. There's a grommet hole there, possibly for some sort of maintenance adjustment of speed or something perhaps. I don't really know, to be honest, at the moment. I haven't figured that out yet. So we've got the two speakers here as well, and yeah, let's see what we can find out. So it's a 12-volt DC, and I'm also reliably informed, and also from this sticker here you may be able to see that it should be negative earth as well. So either way, let's have a look at these cables and see what we've got. So out the back of the unit we've got this plug here with four cables in. And essentially what we're going to have here is a positive terminal, which will be the red one. The black one will be earth, and then we've got a grey and a green. Now, if we follow those to their logical conclusion, we'll then have, let me just see. So the speakers are all into this multi-plug, which is how they came out of the car. So there's a green. Let me just zoom in a little minute. So we've got a green and a grey from the back of the unit. They will in turn go to the speaker cable positives, as it were. And then the speaker cable negatives will go into this one with the blue cable. So then that blue cable has gone through this cord here, which was a supply from presumably from the car, one would imagine. It's a 2-core, so you've effectively got a live and or this is neutral and live, really, I guess it would have been, or positive and negative, whichever way you look at it on here. So the blue one has gone to pick up the negatives. The positives have then gone to the back of the unit, i.e. green and grey. And then the power lead is actually broken. So this would have had an inline fuse, which I just had somewhere. But anyway, it's a 4 amp inline fuse, but there we go. But the mechanism itself's falling apart a little bit. So that gives you an idea of the amperage of this anyway. Max 4 amps at 12 volts. The positive ends come off of there. So anyway, it's all a bit of a mess. So the first thing I think I'm going to do actually is disconnect the speakers entirely from this bundle just to get them out of the way, and see if we can actually power up the unit as it is. So first things first, let's just get on and do that. So the first thing we'll do is just cut these loose a little minute. Might be easy just to hack them off, to be honest, but anyway, let's just see what we've got here. Reminds me of the good old days using these terminal blocks in the back of the dashboard. Right, let's see. So what we've got then basically is the head unit's got the 4 cables. So we'll just see, right, So you've got your positive lead, which is your 12 volts there. We should have the negative lead free, which is here, the black one, also out of the back of the unit. And then basically the two positives, i.e. the grey and the green, that should be away. So if I just zoom out now, we can move the cables out of the way. To be honest, we don't really need that, any of the speaker stuff for a moment. We'll just carry on and work on these four. So what we'll do, first things first, is just get some power into the unit, see if it actually fires up. Okay, so we'll see if we can get some power to this thing. So first thing we need to do really is to expose the ends. Well, we've got a decent exposed clean end on the negative there. The positive, as I say, it's got a 4 amp inline fuse in there, but it's slightly corroded. The terminal's really, not sure if I trust all that at the moment, needs redoing. So I'm just going to cut that off for a moment. And what I'm going to do with this is just expose again, he says, some of the cable on the end there. Right, now what I've got to supply power to this is I've got a power supply here which is set to 12 volts. Now, yes, there is no inline fuse now in there, but if I just connect this up, I've set it to limited current of 3.5 amps. Now, bearing in mind the fuse is set to blow at 4, so anything like at 3.5 will be safe to use, but should still give us enough juice. So what I suggest is we'll just hook up these cables and see if anything happens. So we've got 12 volts at 3.5 amps, and I'm just going to find a cartridge to put in there. Now I know this cart works because I actually restored it in a previous video, so let's see if anything happens. And there we go, it's working, it's certainly turning, and you can see it's actually drawing, you can see it's just drawing actually about 3 amps. So there we go, good, so that's working okay, that's good news actually. I don't know if the other functions are working. We've got things like, there is supposed to be a light on there apparently. Let's have a look. The track selector lights up when we do that. Select, where's the track? Select 3, 4, 1, 2, fast forward. And oh gosh, hang on. Right, okay, good, all seems to work. So let's hook up some speakers and see what actually happens. Okay, so this is essentially like the original installation. So what we have is a supply cable here with what we will call live and earth effectively. So the brown one is going to be the 12 volt DC and the blue one is going to be the negative ground, and they come through into this block here. The red one, the positive, goes directly into the back of the unit. The black one is the earth on the back of the unit, but I've also got a takeoff here which was on the original installation how I've received this, and that black one then forms the 2 earths to the speakers. The 2 positives to the speakers, which are these two just here, go in then to supply the 2 positives for the speakers. So the green and grey are speaker positives. This is the 12 volt DC, and that's the negative there. So let's see if we can get this to work. So the first thing we'll do is just hook up the unit, and as I say, it's 12 volts DC, and we're running at 3.5 amps. It was fused at 4 amps, so we think we'll be okay with that. So we'll just keep those apart from each other. And here we go, let's see what happens. Just put the cart in now. We'll just turn everything down while I figure out what the sliders do. So we've got a tone there, left and right balance and volume. So let's just try. There's left speaker, and there's right speaker, and there's central. Tone low, tone high, perfect. No crackle, just the job. So that's great news. What I might do is just try. So fast forward works, but I'm not sure how you stop that. You've got your repeat switch on and off. There's supposed to be a light. Can I see a light in that? It's hard to tell. Looks like there might be actually. Let me just turn that off for copyright issues. Right. Yep, you can see the light just inside there. Look, I bet that looks lovely at night. Oh, that's a fine tune for the head. Oh, hello. The fine tune dial on the front there has like a radio string type arrangement with the spring there, look. And as you turn that, so it works on this pulley, which activates the height of a lever here on top of the head. And if you just keep an eye on the head position, if I try and do that, that's the lowest position. And that is just moving, just that tiny bit. You might not even see that, just up and down, just literally a fraction. But what that's doing is that's just fine tuning the alignment of the head along the track. And if you deliberately kind of move it one way or the other to the extreme, you can actually hear the tracks overlay. So quite an effective little system, quite cool. Gosh, that sounds fantastic. Good stuff. Right, I might actually just crack it open and have a look at the belt. Although it works well, let's just see what's inside. So I think the first thing will be just to unscrew the terminal blocks here. And we'll just get rid of the speakers, get rid of the any unnecessary cables just for a moment, I think. So that's that, which will give us the 4. And I'll just lose the speakers. Incidentally, the speakers look pretty cool. They've got like rear ports there. We'll have a look. We may get them apart. I'll certainly give them a good polish in a bit, and we'll refurbish them as part of the work. But for now, we were going to have a look, weren't we, at the belts. Oops, there goes my screwdriver. Right, okay. Yeah, and then we'll clean all this up, and that'll be lovely. So, I assume at this juncture that these literally just hold the unit in place through the chassis, these short machine screws. 2 on each side, plus then of course looks like there's 3 on the back. So actually that one, right, the top one looks longer. Just making notes here. If this is short as well, it means that the bottom ones are a bit shorter. Yes, indeed, that is the fact. That is the case. Right. So let's just get these 3 screws out of the bottom of the unit as well. that's the small one. Another small one. And one more. Okay, just before we get the cover off, I'll put these screws somewhere safe for a moment. So there we go, we'll just put them to one side. Now then, here we go. Right, so the bottom plate, wow. Okay, so actually there was no need then to disconnect all of this from the speakers, but there you go, never mind. Okay, well there she is. Wow, nice. All the voltage regulators there. Metro. Wow, lovely. So we know the light worked. We did just test the lamp, and that works fine. And so actually, well, the belt's a little bit, possibly a little bit stretched now, but actually not too bad. It just looks super clean. So I think even the heads, I don't know if you can see in there. Let me just go and get a torch. So just grab the torch, and hopefully you can see in there just how clean this is. It's wonderful, really nice. Okay, so what I might do, I think, is to give it a cursory clean on the head, just to say we've done it really, and then just check it over. But it's not a great deal to do. I think it's that's pretty nice. It's quite a wide belt, but actually it's not slipping. It's got some good grip. So the reason I'm hesitating, I'm just sort of concentrating as I do this, but there's a fair amount of torque required before it'll slip. And that belt actually, yeah, possibly a tiny bit on the loose side, but not too bad. But I mean, it's not an issue, and you could hear it was playing perfectly well. So yeah, I think we'll just let sleeping dogs lie with this. So I'm just going to hook it up to the power supply a minute. Ah, there's the light. Okay, so, there we go. That's the light switch on the front. Marvellous. Yeah, and we'll just watch this. We'll just put the cart back in. Remember to upside down. And there she goes. There you go. That's better. Obviously it's not designed to be run upside down, so that's just the end float off the flywheel, I think. Okay, I don't have a belt anywhere near big enough for this one, and actually it is still very good condition. It's very supple. It's not perished, it's not tarnished, it hasn't really left any deposit on the spindles. So all I'm going to do is just clean the sort of running surface of the flywheel. Lovely big flywheel on this. But you can see that after all these years, and if I really go for it, it's really not. Some rubbish has come off of that, but it's not the end of the world by any stretch. I'll also just do the spindle on here. And whilst it is running beautifully, I think I'll actually also go ahead and just put a drop of oil on the actual motor spindle as well. So to that end, I'm just going to take tiniest drop of oil. And we'll set that to run just inside the spindle, and that'll work its way in. Just make sure you don't get any on the actual contact for the belt. So I've oiled the spindle for the motor. Just clean the running surfaces for the belt, and the belt itself is nice and clean. It's working well. The lamp works. Quite honestly, I'm just going to check the clean the head as well. So we'll get some IPA on that and just clean the head a moment. Oh yes, you could do a. Oh, there we go. That's easier. Right. So to do this, nothing different to any other tape mech. Just gently drawing some IPA across the surface. A little bit of dust on there. Not very much at all, to be fair. That head is in superb condition. Also, I'm just gonna drag it a few times. You can't see that, my hand's in the way, but there's the track read sensor there. So I'm just going to get in there and wipe that up. But to be honest, that's super clean. It's not corroded or anything in there, which is fantastic news. Well, do you know what? I'm not even going to put any switch cleaner in there. Maybe the tiniest amount just for belt and braces, but actually they're running beautifully and didn't really need any. But no harm in just the tiniest little spray. Just sprayed a little bit of WD-40 onto the switches as well while I can get to them. So just trying to remember which one's which now, but here we go. So we've got the select switch, which is a rocker, which is springing back nicely. We've got the repeat, which is a fixed two-way switch, which is working lovely. We've got the fast forward. Now that's supposed to be sprung loaded. It wasn't quite bouncing back, if you remember before, so we've just lubricated that, and you might just see it springing back beautifully now. So it should be a momentary switch. Should be able to reset afterwards, which it wasn't doing before. And then the other one is the light. Again, a fixed position switch. We know it works, but there we go. No harm in doing all of that whilst we could get to it. So let's just put everything back together again. Just enjoying cleaning this trim up. Actually, look at that. It's gorgeous. Wow. I wish I looked that good for the age. So I've just managed to find a grommet to block off the blanking, the open hole there, which is great. That's one little issue done. And now just using a little bit of sort of vinyl and rubber care, like a car vinyl product, just to sort of soak in and get some of the grime off of this unit. It's not massively filthy, to be fair. It's just more of a polish. So we'll kind of just rub that in gently and then go ahead and buff it all up in a few minutes. And wow, doesn't that look fabulous? Look at that. How beautiful is that now? Really clean, really tidy, gleaming, and even the marks underneath from the mounting bracket have gone now. So yeah, that's gorgeous. So I think that'll do for the unit. Next thing, let's take a look at the speakers. Okay, and so onto the speakers. You may hear the jets. We've got someone on full send in his military jet going around in circles at the moment, but bear with me. So we've got the speakers here. We've got their original little bits of Velcro for mounting underside of the carpeted dashboard, which is kind of cool. So I think I'll leave them on. Yeah, I mean, as I say, they're sort of vented out the back to allow the to port the sound. Interesting shape actually. So what I thought I'd just do, we know they work, so I thought what I'll just do quickly is take the front cover off, see what the speakers look like, and just really give the casings a good clean. And that will literally be it for today on this. Lovely little unit though, I've got to say. Proper old school. I just wish I had room in my car. I've got a very small car and I don't have room, unfortunately, to start hanging speakers off and stuff like that. Anyway, here we go. Right, I'll just let the jet finish going past and I'll be back in a moment. So I've just got the speakers out and I can't read the resistance values on the back. So I thought we'll just have a quick look now, see what they are. And that one's 5.5. And that one's 5.8. So I'm guessing they're probably 6 ohm speakers nominally. So there you go, just in case you were interested, that might be helpful. So again, just some vinyl cleaner now onto the housings, and we'll get them back together again. Well, the speakers are looking glorious now. They're all cleaned up. So yeah, let's get everything back together and just test it out one more time. And so here she is then, all in her splendour, all finished. Really cool actually. It's a really cute little unit. You can see how super clean the speakers are, how clean the unit is. So yeah, there we go then. So we haven't really done much. We just cleaned the sort of belt running surfaces. The belt itself was absolutely fine, so no need to change it. Yeah, we've just put the grommet over the blanking plate there, given it a clean the heads, put some contact cleaner in the volume switch, volume slider. Also, what I did notice, something I hadn't done hitherto, although it's red, ignore the fact it's red, it's actually a earth wire. When I actually fired it up to get it all running for this sort of shot, I noticed that it was still quite noisy. But as soon as I earthed the chassis, literally just by running a cable direct to ground from the chassis bolt there, all of a sudden, not only did the sort of any interference-y kind of noise go away, actually it became clearer as well and louder. So yeah, so crystal clear now. And I'm going to try and put this cart in one-handed and see what happens. So a bit of a bonus section, just as I'd finished and I was taking some B-roll for the end of the video to show you how pretty it was. The earth cable fell out the back, multi-plug, and to be honest, I wasn't quite sure how these plugs actually worked, but it goes, that one there goes into the back of there, which is mounted in the unit, and it turned out that multi-plug just sort of pushes in there, which is fair enough. So what I'll do in a bit maybe is even get to show you the underside and how the solenoid and switching mechanism works, assuming I can get this fixed, of course. Anyways, so I'm not that familiar, well, not familiar at all actually with these particular connectors. So I've tried to gently push the pins and pull the pins and everything else, and I've come to the realization that they must be actually sort of hard pressed or melted in there during manufacture. And then when I looked at it, it looks like the wires actually go all the way sort of through, and then they get soldered in. So, and when this one, I've just refreshed the end of this one, but no, it's not, that's the wrong end, I'll just show you. So I've just peeled off some fresh cable here, which I'll tin in a minute. But I'm guessing that because it snapped off, I think it was all inside there. So I think I've got to actually just try and desolder this, see if we can suck it all out, and then re-tin this and put that back in there. So wish me luck. So I've just put some flux on there to see if that'll help. And I've just found if I can come into frame with this, I've just found a pin, which hopefully, if I can heat this up enough, my plan is to see if I can push the old wire down. There we go, like so. Do you know what? I think we might have done the job. You can't put too much on, otherwise it won't go into the multi-plug afterwards. So that looks pretty good to me. So I'll go ahead and clean that up, and then we'll take a look, see if it fits. There we go, a bit cleaner now, but good. Might just put a touch more solder down inside just to cap it off. But other than that, we're almost done. Okay, so now for the moment of truth then. What we'll do is plug in the unit, 1 and 3. So I've got to get this the right way round, of course. Okay, first things first, good news is it's gone in. We haven't put too much solder on there, so it's gone into the locating hole, okay. Right, so anyways, where were we? Right, first thing we shall do is power up our 12 volts, and we'll get our 12 volts 3.5 amp max current through the unit. Obviously no speakers this time, we're just trying it out, make sure it works okay. So okay, here we go then. For anyone that wanted to see what was underneath, of course, we've also cleaned the roller, so you can get better access to the head now. You can see the solenoid and all of the switching gear and all of that kind of cool stuff. So I'm going to try and do this one-handed. So here we go. Let's just see what happens. Okay, so you can probably hear she's whizzing away down there. And there's the track there. So if we press select, you'll see how that moves. That little solenoid at the back. Perfect. That's all working really well. No issues with any of that at all. So really pleased. Well done. Job done now, and she's finally fixed. Just going to get her put her back together for the second time today. There we go. So you can see now she's super clear. Also left channel, right channel and centre. Tone is on full, tone is low. There we go. And then as you select through the tracks, beautiful. So there she is. I'll just take the cart back out so you can hear what I'm saying. But basically, yeah, there she is. So she's all restored, good to go. Comes that rather brilliant original mounting bracket in excellent condition as well. So essentially, that's all there is to it. A very simple, almost new old stock. I mean, she's so clean, she's gorgeous. Really love this unit. I can't use it, so I'll probably just put this one up for sale now, but I thought you guys might want to just have a look at it really. So basically, yeah, this particular one is 12 volts DC, and it was pulling about 3 amps, just over 3 amps, and the inline fuse is rated at 4 amps for those that have been asking about it. But anyway, that's all there is for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and thanks very much for watching. Please do subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and yeah, we've got plenty more 8-track stuff coming up. We've got boom boxes, personal stereos. I mean, you can probably imagine there's like, here's some of them. So we've got a fair old amount of stuff to start working through here. Plus there's more besides. So yeah, do stay tuned for those. We'll be diagnosing those, seeing what works, what doesn't, repairing, restoring them, and hopefully you'll find it interesting. So thanks very much for watching. So from me and this rather delightful Lucas Audio little car setup, thanks for watching.